Here's how you command your body to be motivated during your fat loss phase. Now, we all heard the advice, do not rely on motivation. Use discipline instead. David Goggins style. Now, all that does have some merit. If we could be motivated to do something, wouldn't that work in our favor? I mean, think about it. You could be having the best time of your life just simply by being happy. Let's just say you got like a promotion, you accomplish a goal that you've been wanting for a long time. You feel like the happiest person in the world. However, when something bad happens or something that you do not like, you feel like it's gonna last forever and you just feel in this temporary state of sadness. If we can just feel motivated to do an action, that will work in our favor. That increases the probability of us staying consistent to an action. Now let's take a look at all addictions. Let's just be specific and talk about the one with the health. You know, junk food, for example. Being addicted to candies, fried foods, doesn't it feel great to eat them? And isn't it so easy to stay consistent to them? If we can feel good by doing the actions that are positive for our health, that allow us to burn fat, wouldn't that be much better than relying on discipline in which you have to do actions that you dislike but you know you're pushing through it? Now, although it is good to have discipline, I'm not saying discipline isn't worth it. I'm just saying, let's not completely get rid of motivation. How about we use motivation and discipline? By the end of this video, you will have tools that you can do to stay motivated and be able to stay disciplined, and this will allow you to stay consistent on your fat loss journey. Currently at the moment, it is February, and this is where people start to trend off their fat loss journey, like especially with going to the gym. I remember going to the gym back in January. You know, as expected, everybody knows that January is the most packed time, and once I was going over there, I ain't gonna lie, it's getting a bit annoying. That's why I was skipping Mondays, because everybody starts on Mondays. However, as time went on, just even a month, it's a whole drop off in the amount of people who go to the gym. I literally went from waiting online to use the lying leg raise machine to having a whole Smith machine spot open. And if you go to the gym, you know how rare it is to get a whole Smith machine. Alright, we're gonna label this video in two different sections. The first one, motivation, and then the second one, discipline. And in the discipline, you'll feel motivation afterwards. But I'm just talking about the motivation and what you can get it instantly. And the first one is community. The gym that I go to, I find myself saying hi to 5+ people. It's just because I said hi to people. I remember I was on my journey where I was trying to raise up my social skills. So I was just going around to people and just asking hey, how's it going? What workout are you doing? If you can just go to your gym and just compliment the people there, that's an easy starter. If you feel like if you go around complimenting people, you're gonna put yourself down and you're gonna gas their ego up, who cares? You're doing this for yourself. You're doing this to raise up your social skills. And plus, what an egotistical way to think, giving people compliments and you think that, you're gonna gas their ego up. No, not a lot of people give out compliments these days. Everybody's thinking that same exact thing. So if you just go ahead and, I guess sacrifice a bit of your ego, you can go ahead and make some friends and just feel motivated to continue to come back. Also, if you find people in the gym and they're pretty fit, don't be afraid to try to become friends with them, or not even try to become friends with them. You don't have to force it, but maybe try to ask them some questions hey, I've been doing these bicep curls. I do it this way. Do you do it that way? Oh, okay. Or when I do bench press, I don't know, I feel it in my front delts. Am I doing something wrong? Don't be afraid to be a wanderer. Just be a student, just asking questions, because who knows, they can give you advice that can save your life. For example, now I wasn't gonna die from this. However, I remember my first year of training, I remember I was on the bench and I was doing some dumbbell rows. And if you know the chest supported dumbbell rows, with the bench, and I was doing them incorrectly and I could have seriously hurt myself. hurt myself. However, there was this one dude, he was Jet, and he came up to me, he was like, hey bro, make sure that you don't like pull up too much out the bench. You can seriously hurt yourself. And ever since he reminded me that, I always make sure that I wasn't doing too much, I wasn't just swinging away, and make sure that it was controlled. The second one is watching online fitness content, whether that's on YouTube, IG, Twitter, wherever. Now, the reason why I gave a disclaimer is because you can get really insecure. You can go ahead and watch people on Instagram, and then you see you got this little waist and a big torso, big shoulders and whatnot, looking like a whole V, literally, with a small torso and things like that. And then you can see them talking about how, oh yeah, I took steroids and it was really great for me. What's the point of waiting all these years if I could just get in this short time? Or like, what's the point? Do not get insecure and start taking steroids. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Now, for people who take steroids, that's usually for people who has been in the gym for like 20 plus years, 30 plus years. And even then, they know what they're doing. Like, they ready into the research and they're ready to suffer the consequence. When you're watching online fitness content, it could be from people like Dr. Andy Galpin, Dr. Andrew Huberman. Those are like the podcast type, the long form ones. Or you could be watching like Will Tennyson or Jesse James. And those are like the entertainment side, like super entertaining. And I watched those videos. Like, for example, I remember I was watching Will Tennyson and he was going over how he does ladder raises. And he went over it, he was like, he put his head on like a squat rack and then he raises his ladder delts. I remember the first day I tried those, I promise you, I don't think I felt so sore. Like, that was the first time in my life that I actually felt my shoulders literally in pain the next day. And then you got like the educational type, like Jeff Nipper, Jeremy Ether, those type of videos. Jeremy Ether is a YouTuber in which that got me into fitness. I started watching their videos. Like, I looked up, like, after years of struggling with fat, or after years of struggling with being overweight, I looked up how to lose weight. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, but I did it afterwards. And then I saw Jeremy Ether, and then my whole journey, evolved from there. It may not be like this, however, I'm like this. When I see stuff like this, like just Goku going crazy or Luffy being determined, like, especially when I listen to like Guitar Ultimate music, like when they got that Playboy Cardi and then they got like a little guitar in the background, that stuff is fire to me. So you possibly may not be like that, however, that's what I like to enjoy, listen to during the gym. Yesterday I was doing some bicep curls, right? And then low key I was imagining myself as like powering it up, and I was grunting. I was like trying to bring up that weight, and it was like really fun. Something that you can be aware of is the comparison monster. This is actually something I learned from Kevin Hart's book, The Monsters thing. I'll put it on. I remember he told a story in which it was like, oh, if you go ahead and you make like top 100 in like a race, like a biking race, you're gonna think to yourself like, hey, let's go, I got top 100, like that being your first time. And then you keep raising up the ladder, top 90, top 80, top 50, top 20, top 10. And then once you get something like top 20, you're gonna feel like dog water. You're gonna feel horrible. But just a minute ago, you felt really excited from getting top 100. And that's because you're comparing yourself to the other people. I seen the advice online about comparing yourself to other people, and it just never made sense to me. Cause why are you comparing yourself to a whole nother person? They had a significantly different background to yours. Let's just say, for example, for business people, let's just say you got into business and it was like around when you're like 25 years old, you're just starting, and you're gonna be envying the guy who started around, I don't know, like 14, like those people that you see online who be 14 and be millionaires. Maybe think to yourself like, damn, I wish I was a millionaire at 14 and started this business. But do you know what that person's actually been through? Do you think that teen even wants to be a business person? And let's just say they are. clearly their parents educated them on what to do. They probably had a whole lot more money to use, went to more richer schools, just had more information in general. While you may have grew up with immigrant parents, like they just traveled from like Africa or China, they came over here, similar to me, and you may not have like the best education, maybe not be taught the best information for business. So whatever it is, I'm not trying to make excuses for yourself. I'm just saying you're in a whole different boat. And something that I even think to myself sometimes, but I'm still actively like getting rid of it, is just thinking to myself like, oh damn, I wish I started sooner. That's the worst thought ever. Like, having that thought can actually help you because it can make you actually do the work today so that you're not saying that tomorrow. However, when you start thinking to yourself like, damn, if I had only started sooner, I'd probably be richer now. It's true, you would have, but it doesn't matter because you can't go back in time to change it. So you might as well do it today so that you're not saying that tomorrow.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
All right, the third thing is watching motivational videos. I remember just a couple months ago, I was really feeling down. I was feeling not so good. I didn't have the results that I wanted. I felt as though I was working hard and I wasn't seeing anything. So I remember I was doing a workout and I was like, yeah, just going with the motions. And then on a YouTube video, I seen like some Rocky stuff, some Rocky motivation or a video like that. And I started listening to it and I started like getting my groove back on. I felt like I was training for a whole fight. And although that may sound cringy to some people, however, that's what I like to indulge in. It really makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like I'm thriving. Like some stuff from Rocky, like some lines from anything, maybe like a podcast, even David Goggins says when he be saying, oh yeah, you gotta do the work today, like stuff like that. And then they got like a little music underneath it. It just be the whole vibes. All right, the fourth one is align your food to your goal. So what I mean by that is, let's just say, assuming you're on a fat loss phase and you're trying to lose some fat. Think about eating protein as a way to delay that hunger, as a way that's going to grow that muscle and help reduce that fat. And what I specifically mean is like a mindset shift. Think to yourself, don't think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to eat this because it's healthy. No, I'm going to eat this because it's going to make me lose fat, because I'm going to feel more fuller, and I'm less likely going to go ahead and eat that burger or eat that pizza. This is going to fill my body with protein, the nutrients I really need, and it's going to fill my body to the point where I don't want no junk food. Just think to yourself like that, because when I resetted my diet and started with the carnivore diet, that actually helped me realize how important protein-rich foods are, like chicken thigh, ground beef, turkey. And what that allowed me to do is every meal I get or every chance I get, I make sure that protein is the majority of that plate. So let's just say I have one serving of rice. I'm gonna make sure that I get two servings of chicken thigh or ground beef, just because it's much more fulfilling and it aids to my goals. All right, now here's the discipline. Now you are going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to have to rely on ignoring your feelings. However, afterwards, you're going to feel that motivation, because typically when you get like a sharp dip, what happens is that you'll have a reverse effect in which you'll feel like a sharp happiness afterwards, or maybe like a little bit of a happiness, just the same way in reverse, kinda. Because when you're doing addiction and you feel like a spike in happiness, you're gonna feel like a spike in sadness, and then it's not gonna go back to baseline. It's really just gonna lie down in the lower fields. However, when you do something that gives you a straight up strike down, when you go back up, it's gonna rely in the little happiness joint. Now that's my best example to explain this. Like, this the most uncomplicated way ever. And also, that's why people like to do cold showers. It makes them feel very uncomfortable. However, afterwards, they feel a bit good of themselves. They feel, like not so bad, not so, all that, right? They don't feel like sad or anything. They feel good, and that's what you can do to feel motivation. Doing the uncomfortable work can really make you feel motivated afterwards. An example of this is tracking your meals. Tracking your meals, I ain't gonna lie, it is very, very tedious. However, if you could just bear the struggle for a little bit, if you could just delay the food, like I know you got the plate right in front of you, got the fork, got the knife ready to indulge, but if you could just hold on just a minute, and then you can open up your phone and be like, no, just track it real quick, proteins, the calories, the fats, the carbs, all that stuff that's required, and even the grams or ounces or whatever, or servings. If you can just do that real quick, you'll feel good afterwards. All right, if you like more help with your specific situation, just go ahead and check out the description. And with that being said, always take it one step at a time, because you may never know what that one step may lead you.